Have you or a loved one been affected by pignosis? Symptoms include blaming the controller, banning your own viewers, and saying, that's impossible 47 times a stream. However, there is hope. Welcome to Duty Streams, the internet's premier center for DSP analysis, memes, and emergency anti-pignosis treatment. We expose the cope, we study the salt, and we ask the hard questions. Did the game really screw him, or was it just another skill issue? Subscribe to Duty Streams today, because pignosis spreads fast, but laughter spreads faster.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the DSP Morning Show for Thursday, the 20th of August, 2026. How is everybody today? Hope you're doing well. And we got some new stuff already going on, so I would like to already ask for your understanding. Something new has launched today on my streams on YouTube, and I don't really know how it works. Shall I just begin by talking about it? Maybe I should just begin talking about it. There you go. So here's the deal. YouTube, in the last several months, launched something new called Gifts or Jewels, okay?
Hello, Jew.
You might say, what are gifts or jewels? Well, what YouTube is trying to do is essentially copy either Twitch or Kick or whichever, okay? So what they're attempting to do is make it so that while you're watching a live stream on YouTube, you can contribute in various ways other than Super Chats. I guess people on YouTube are upset that Super Chats are so drastically different from Twitch or Kick's systems. For example, on Twitch, let's say you want to contribute to a streamer. Well, what you do is you buy this digital item called a bit. Okay, it looks like a little gem. They actually call them bits, and they look like little gems. On Kick, you buy what's called kicks. And then you can have this as like a digital currency. And when someone is streaming, you can contribute to them with either kicks or bits. And the thing about that is the streamer gets 100% of what you donate. 100%. They don't lose anything. YouTube doesn't take a cut. Or excuse me, Twitch or Kick don't take a cut. They keep all the bits you give them. So you might say, well, that doesn't make sense. How is that profitable for a business to just let you donate to someone and they don't take a cut? Well, they do take a cut when you buy the kicks or the bits. For example, let's say you wanted to buy, like someone just said, let's say you wanted to buy 20,000 bits. It costs $250. But 20,000 bits is only the equivalent of $200. So Twitch keeps $50. They make their profit when you buy the digital currency. Then when you actually gift, then the person keeps it all, okay? So I wasn't even aware that YouTube was doing this. I thought, oh, YouTube just does memberships and YouTube does super chats, right? So what's the difference between a super chat and these bits, right? I'll tell you. A super chat, YouTube keeps about 30%. So, for example, right now, if someone were to send me a $30 super chat, I'll count it as $30 of revenue on the stream. But in reality, I'm keeping like maybe $21, and YouTube takes $9. So it's not actually accurate to what I'm really getting as support. When you do bits or kicks, it's accurate 100% because each bit or kick is a penny for the streamer, you see? So I think what YouTube is trying to do is do the equivalent thing to what the competition is doing. And I think with the dawn of the phone streams, the vertical streams, you know, everyone is now doing IRL streaming. I think YouTube wanted to have the similar kind of contribution in currency that everybody else did. So they can at least say, hey, look, you contribute the same way you could on TikTok or on Twitch or on Kick. So I wasn't even aware about this at all. And then yesterday, it was Nothing Here 182. He says, Phil, are you aware that YouTube is running a promo right now that you get free jewels? And I was like, what are jewels? I don't even know what that is. What are jewels? Okay, I never even heard of them. And he said, jewels are the currency. You should look into it. So I looked into it last night, okay? And I went, and it's new. It's something that it says, you know, you can enable super chats, but you can also enable gifts. They're calling it gifts on YouTube. So I went to enable it, and it said, well, in order to get to accept that, you have to verify your identity. We want you to actually scan your driver's license front and back and send it to us and confirm your address. And once we have all that confirmed, we'll enable this for you. And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know if this is going to pan out, but let's try it, right? So I did last night. I scanned my license, I put it in, and the whole thing errored out, claiming it doesn't work. So then I tried it again on my phone rather than on my desktop, and then it took it, but then it kind of settled for 3 hours and didn't really update. So I was like, I'll just let it sit overnight. And I just came back this morning, and it works. So now all of a sudden, everyone can give me jewels on YouTube, and people have started doing this. As you can see, it's popping up. But the thing is, I needed to enable pop-ups so you could see them on the stream. You can actually see them in the stream chat when it happens. There's a big animation for them, but I needed to enable it so you could see it on stream. So now I have, but now the problem is going to be people are like, well, you should enable a limit, because if you don't, what's going to happen is people are going to keep gifting like 1 or 2 jewels. Yeah, here we go. Minimum jewels to alert. So let's do 100. Let's make it that you have to gift 100 jewels to have a pop-up alert on the stream. It'll still show up in the stream chat if you do it, but this way, it'll keep it to at least that's $1, at least $1 for a pop-up on stream. That's always been the limit on my streams. It's $1 contribution to get an on-screen pop-up. I think that's a good way to do it. I think that'll keep it from being overbearing and too much going on and all of that. So there you have it. And by the way, if any pop-ups are appearing right now, it's not legit. It's just I'm clicking around and they autoplay. They didn't. Okay, good. So basically, people this morning are giving me their free jewels. And now I have to figure out how many people gave me because I have to count this for the stream. This is all a new stat that I never had before. So just like we have top subs and top kicks, now we're going to have top memberships, top super chat, and top jewels. Okay, so let's look at it right now. You ready? We got to go through all these. John Nepper did 550 jewels. So that's $5.50, right? Okay. Comrade Snowball did 2 jewels. Philip did 10. The Mad Villain did 10. Canned Vegetables did 440 jewels. Thank you, Canned Vegetables. So that's another $4. What?
Hello, Drew.
The price for individual jewel varies depending on the size of the bundle purchased in the mobile app. Individual gifts cost a set number of jewels. Earnings for creators. When you receive a gift, it turns into rubies in the account, and a ruby is 1 cent. Rubies will be paid into your standard monthly YouTube Partner Program AdSense payout. But then how do rubies work? Huh? Hidden metric. See how many rubies you earn during a YouTube live. Oh, God, how does this work? This is not good. Why is it so confusing? Okay. I'm reading it right now. Jewels have no value to the creator directly. They're what a viewer buys, not what the creator receives. You use the jewels to buy the animations. When a gift is sent, the creator's channel earns rubies. In the original US rollout, YouTube stated 1 ruby is 1 cent USD, but there's no fixed or guaranteed revenue share the way there is for super chats or channel memberships. The payout depends on which jewels bundle the viewer purchased and whatever promotions were active, and YouTube itself says this openly. Gifts appear as overlays on top of a video feed. What the? So there's no way to tell the value whatsoever, according to this. Yeah, like there's no way to tell the value. Yeah, listen to this. Because the rollout is actively expanding, YouTube's own documentation isn't even caught up. You can't actually treat any proper listing of value as fact. I'm reading, it literally says this right now. There's no way to tell what the value of jewels are because even YouTube doesn't know. Listen to this. There's a combined daily spending cap across jewels, super chats, and super stickers of $500 a day or $2,000 a week. No one's allowed to buy more than that in 1 week. Maximum of 30,000 jewels can be held in an account at once. Jewels are non-refundable. Yeah, this is weird. I'm still reading more. The exact jewel to ruby conversion isn't fixed or guaranteed. It's unclear whether 1 ruby will actually be a penny, is confirmed, or actually is true. We can't even confirm. This is a third-party website. We can't even confirm that jewel bundle pricing is the same in all countries. Therefore, we can't even confirm the value of jewels anywhere. What? So there's no way for me to know the value of jewels. It's impossible. No one actually knows. Like someone, I was doing, if you look at Google AI was saying they think that jewels are actually worth half a cent. So for example, if you gave me 500 jewels, that would be $2.50. At least that's what they think, but they don't know. How hilarious is this? So no one knows the value. It's not even, there's no way to convert it. How do you, okay, do you now understand what I'm saying when I say when YouTube launches something, they do not fully flesh it out. They do not fully finish it or design it. They just launch it incomplete. They do this every time. They have never launched a new feature that actually was well designed and thought out from the get-go. Never. Not once have they just launched something and here it is and it's transparent and it works and here you go. You have no clue as a streamer what's going on. Ever. So now I actually have no idea if a jewel is a penny, if a jewel is half a penny, and apparently even people who are in the industry tracking it don't know either because it's so new. It just launched in like spring and it's only been active since the summer. No one has any clue. Now, I'm even curious, like, where am I going to track this? On my YouTube page, if I go to Earn, and it says Supers and Gifts, and I click on this. Understand how you've earned from gifts in analytics. So it doesn't even have a tracker. So it's actually combining supers, super chats, and gifts all into one metric. But there's no way to break it out at all. What are they doing? They literally launched something that doesn't actually have any way to track it whatsoever. That's impressively stupid. So all I can do is guess. Yeah, all I can do is literally guess. World Weather Authority says, I saw a channel yesterday talking about jewels. Apparently creator earnings equal jewels divided by 200. So 10,000 would equal $50 in support. That would make sense because that's half. Because it's so a jewel isn't a penny, a jewel is half a penny. So 10,000 is $50. All right, we could do it that way. I'm okay with tracking it that way, but then that's a little bit of complicated math. Okay. Of course, again, according to people who are tracking this, it's not 100% accurate. There's no way to tell if this is true or not. So hold on, because now I have to add in the jewels, but then we have to change the amount that we've raised, and it looks like we didn't hit a milestone yet. Hold on. So where was Habib Gaming's membership. Here it is. All right, so there was 10, 10, 10, 10, 2, 10, 10, 2. And then Big Papa Phil just did 1,000. So thank you, Big Papa Phil, for 1,000 jewels. Okay. So what we're going to have to do, all right, is basically have all the jewels. So let's do the math. 1,000. Oh, they deleted. It deletes from the queue every time you hit refresh. That's great. All right, so hold on. I could do it this way. If I hit refresh, it should show up. Let me see. Okay, okay, I could do it this way. No, I can't. Most of them already disappeared. All right, it's this simple. All right, it's pretty simple. We only had a couple contributions outside of the jewels. We had a $1.45 super chat, and so far we had $3 in tips, right? So all we're going to do is we're going to subtract $4 from the total of support that we did this morning. And we have to have this. So what's half of 114? 52. So it's 52. And then we add in the $4 that we got otherwise. We're actually at 56 of support. There we go. Okay. All right. So we're going to assume that jewels are worth half a penny each because that's what AI says and that's what some people are assuming. But there's actually no confirmation that's correct because it's so new, no one has any idea. And I wonder if anyone even got paid for it yet. You know, I really wonder if anyone got paid for jewels to know what the value is. Okay. Oh, it wasn't 52, it was 57. Thank you. So, all right. So I was off by $5. Sorry, I was trying to do math fast. So we got to add 5. So we're at 61 of support today. Okay. Well, there you have it. That's still, hey, listen,